My name is Gideon Lenke. I'm the president and co-founder of Raw Security Systems.
We're a nationally known security services firm with over 20 years of experience in helping customers protect data and manage risk. I'm also a former president of the New Jersey chapter of the FBI's InfraGard program, a public-private partnership to help protect our nation's critical infrastructure. Over the years, we've been called in many times after a company finds out it's been breached or we discover a breach during our testing. Let's talk about what to do when the worst-case scenario unfolds.
Statistically, you'll be notified by law enforcement that you've been hacked. Most companies, at least the big breaches, most of the times they don't even realize it themselves. What happens is the stolen data is traced back to them through a nexus. In other words, a connection. What do all these victims have in common? And it'll be, well, they all shopped at this company. The time frame there oftentimes is more than a year. It can go a year and a half before the company realizes that they had a problem. By that time, a lot of forensic data is actually gone. Attackers have packed up and left. Other ways that people notice they've been breached are through end-user reports, a report that a system is acting strangely, and an investigation leads to the discovery of a compromised computer, an intrusion, malware, or something of the like is on the machine. One of the more interesting breaches we uncovered actually started as a penetration test. It was an insurance company that had called us to more or less validate their new security system. During our analysis and our testing activities, we determined that they were already hacked and had been hacked for a very long time by not one but two different hacker organizations. The amusing thing about it was they didn't seem to be so much interested in data mining or stealing the data. They seemed to be more interested in territory within the network. They would come in at night and they would battle for turf. Eventually we isolated the company off their network, disconnected them from the public internet. And it was kind of chilling after a short amount of time. Phones started ringing. They were looking for modems. Over a period of a few days, we were able to finally get them out. Ideally, you'll have controls in place that if you do encounter a successful exploit, you'll detect it. And then you'll have a process in place by which you isolate the machine, make a determination as to what may have been available to the attacker. For instance, you might respond differently to a reception computer being compromised and the CFO's computer being compromised. So you'll have a plan in place, you'll enact a plan, you'll determine what that malware wanted, and if you determine that that malware had the ability and the access to sensitive data, you will escalate, and in some cases, according to law, you will have to notify people that this occurred. I'm sure you've heard of or may have even experienced a credit card company calling you and saying, we're issuing you a new card because there was a data theft, and you may have or may not have been affected. Even if the attack wasn't successful, or it was successful but you don't know what it is, it's actually really important to report it. You think the situation is clear and you think you have a good understanding of it, but the deeper you look, the more you find. Perhaps one of the most damaging incidents that we handled was for a manufacturer who had let a highly privileged IT employee go. That employee decided to come back into the network through remote access that he had credentials for. He deleted backups and then he deleted the configuration for their network infrastructure. It took their entire enterprise in North America down. It halted manufacturing in North America. Over a period of time, while they scrambled to rebuild their infrastructure, their employees' encrypted laptops stopped working. The individual who did it was eventually caught and did jail time for that. Once you experience a breach, once a company experiences that level of pain and what it really takes to get through it, they kind of find religion. They kind of take it a little more seriously. They start putting controls in place to better detect when something has happened. They don't blindly rely on protective controls. The real danger is the hard cases, the people that don't perceive the risk or think they're managing it. Hey, Joe in IT says everything's okay and we just bought this whiz-bang 5000 and the light's green so we're safe. Those are accidents waiting to happen, and